And then I said to them when I read it, I said, you've got the best constitution in the whole Commonwealth. It says section 73 says if you do this, this and this. Now, section 73 states that if you take sections 2, 3, 4, 50, 51 or 73, you've got to take it to the electorate in the state. When you look at the Australia Act in section 14, it says the amendments to the West Australian Constitution. They amend section 50 and 51. Well, hello, as I said to one judge, where's your state referendum decision for that? Don't tell me you haven't got one. He said, oh, I guess we didn't. I said, well, look at the next section. It says, if this section is in contravention, any legislation created is not legislation at all. So I said, from that point, you've been riding a dead donkey to nowhere. Now I said, Your Honour, do you want a farmer's understanding of this? He said, it'll be okay. I said, you've been caught with your pants down running out the back door. With respect, Your Honour. And he said, I said, we're on the same page. He said, I understand what you mean. Then he said this, Mr. Shaw, if you're right, big if, this would have the tendency of letting all the criminals out of prison. I said, Your Honour, with the utmost respect, I think all the criminals are currently out of prison. That's where it's at. All I'm saying is, while I couldn't give a hoot the type of issues you want to raise about that constitution that's on that table now. I've heard them all, I've seen them all. If you take that off that table, you're going to get a document you wish you never got. Can I make that quite clear? Now, people often say to me, because of your knowledge, you wouldn't be far off being buried. To which I said to one barrister who said that to me, he said, well, who'd take your place? I said, well, you're a barrister, you've got knowledge of it. He said, no, I don't want it. And I said, no, Cobber, it means this. Ultimately, we all die one day, and you get a tombstone. It'll either say, here lies a warrior, or here lies a wimp. Pick which one you want. Is that fair? That's the Aussie. The Aussie shouldn't be one that's stuck down. Please don't do this. Please don't do this. But the last time I was in the Supreme Court, the judge said, Mr. Shaw, do you wish me to stand down? I said, no, it's not relevant. In the next minute, you'll be placed under arrest for treason. We'll deal with that. Well, he hit the panic button, the little thing under there, and I handed him his charge sheet, I handed the opposing thing their charge sheet, and we left the courtroom all in the space of 1 minute. Please do not do that unless you know what you're doing. We've then gone next door to the cafe when we're already drinking our cup of coffee. When the security arrives, it looks like comedy cables. They look like they were 3 blocks away at Macca's. They're holding their hat, they're holding their gun, and they're coming around the corner, and they're coming around the corner, and they're coming around the corner. And we're already gone. We're in the cafe drinking coffee. They've fixed the security since then. They don't go up 3 blocks away to Macca's. But please do not do that if you don't know what you're doing. Now, how come I can walk out of the court? Because the court knows that even if you touch me, which you can do, you are open to a civil writ. Why? Because you're not in jurisdiction. Do you understand that? And that's why I could arrest 3 Supreme Court judges in Western Australia and go for lunch. Because they knew they couldn't do diddly squat without bringing a civil writ for them being out of jurisdiction. Do you understand that? They know all that. That's why they just simply say, oh, that's good, that's good, that's good. And hope you walk out the court. But they're all now charged pending grand jury. The problem with that is if we go ahead with all of that, and I want to answer this. When the boys and the powers that be sort of say, okay, we're all going to get caught for treason, so we better do something to make the Aussies submit, what do you think they'll do? I'll tell you what they're going to do. They're going to crash the economy. Can you block that?
Yes.
How?
By pointing out that the documents that they signed were signing on behalf without a knowledge about consent.
Okay. Now, here's my point. Anybody get the Articles of Association from ASIC when they sold the Commonwealth Bank in 1991? Please put up your hand if you got it. Well, you got it from me, so you really didn't get it. I'm talking about someone who got into the trouble and got those documents from ATSIC. Please, can you do that now? Do it real quick. You want the Articles of Association of the Commonwealth Bank that were lodged at ATSIC in April 6, 1991. Here's my point. Who signed off on that? Who gave the royal assent to that? Because it came from the Constitution, that bank. It was a statutory bank. Did you permit the sale? Now the point I'm making is, in front of a grand jury would say, invalid sale, put the bank back.
Yeah.
The moment you put the bank back, have you blocked the collapse? Isn't that pretty simple? Isn't that pretty simple? Can anybody here with the expertise do that? And please do it. At least get the Articles of Association from the Commonwealth Bank and get them tomorrow. Even if you've got to get somebody to walk into ATSIC to go and get them and stay there all day until they walk out with them.
So Articles of Association?
Now get those documents, because you're going to see the reason why. Please, you'll end up with a power over that. It's got to come from ATSIC. There's a reason why. Because ATSIC's going to know we've got a problem coming in this door. Because they know that those articles should not have been accepted. And you'll see why when you get the articles. The point I'm making is, in front of it, if you take all that treason matter up to the grand jury, they're going to deck the economy to make sure you submit. But you need to be able to block that. It's what you call a blocking move. And if you don't do that, and you can do that, then you'll have the Commonwealth Bank boys accountable to the grand jury. Now, please, can we finalise now? Otherwise, we're going to be here till after midnight. Thank you.